All right, well, I think we're just going to go ahead and get started. Okay. First of all, if you don't know who I am, I'm Nicole McKay. I am the Artist Relations Director at the Guild of Artists and Artisans. I just want to say hi and welcome to our first ever webinar. The intention of this new series is to offer educational opportunities for our artist members to help during these difficult times. Our topic of discussion tonight is going to be website building and e-commerce, specifically using Etsy, IndieMade, and Shopify. Today, we're going to be joined by Kristen Perkins and her husband, William Magliano. Kristen is a jewelry artist specializing in flame-worked glass and sterling silver. She has been selling on Etsy since 2007 and has been doing art fairs since 2008. Kristen also sits on the Guild of Artists and Artisans Board of Directors. Her husband, Bill, is a senior full-stack developer specializing in PHP, MySQL, and AWS, which I'm hoping he'll explain. That doesn't make any sense to me. He also has 15 years of knowledge building high-traffic websites. Welcome, Kristen and Bill. Thank you for being here.
Happy to be here.
Thank you for having us.
I'm excited. This should be fun. If attendees, if you guys have any questions, please use the chat box to type in your questions. I know Kristen and Bill will be answering them throughout the webinar and at the end, and I will try to catch them as possible. We will be recording this in the entirety of today's webinar, and the link will be sent to your inbox for you to review it again and again if you need the information. And if you have any questions for the Guild, please feel free to email me. My email is nicole@theguild.org. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Kristen and Bill.
Hi, thanks. Thanks for being here, everybody. And Nicole pretty much told you all of my background. I've been selling on Etsy since 2007. It was my first ever web presence. And I started on Etsy just because it's pretty much free to start. You only have to pay for your listings, which are 20 cents per listing. It's very easy to set up. It's just really a good template that is just really easy to follow. And basically it's just, it would be a great start for you if you have no web presence at all, and especially in these times when we're not able to do shows, if you want to get your work in front of your customers. And I know people have actually either started their Etsy stores since the COVID, or some people have actually like repopulated their Etsy stores after they've been, kind of vacant for some time because they're more focused on other areas of their business. But, just to get in front of customers right now while we're at home, and have had excellent responses. I think that customers are really wanting to support us, and as long as we get online and make it easy for them, it should be successful. So I have had Etsy, like I said, since 2007. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I decided it would be a good idea to have my own website, because Etsy charges transaction fees. They charge about 8% of your sales. So I just thought that if I was primarily sending the traffic to the web, a website, a web store, that it should be my own, where I'm just, paying a monthly fee, but I don't have to pay transactions, commissions to Etsy, for my own customer traffic. So I started a website on IndieMade. Can we show that? Okay. So that's what IndieMade looks like. It's an artist website. I mean, it's targeted toward artists, and it's very user friendly. My site's no longer active, so I can't really show it to you, but they have some examples of what other artists have done. You know, that's some tableware art. They have, you know, the thing about it is it's your own website. It's not like Etsy, where Etsy is more of a marketplace. So anyway, I just wanted to show that.
So you can either use IndieMade's URL, like you're showing right here. They didn't buy their own domain, or you can get your own domain, like this potter here, stardustpottery.com. So it doesn't look like it's going through IndieMade.
So if you don't want to start with Etsy, I think that IndieMade is a really good option because it's very easy to use. So that was kind of my next step, and I had both of them at the same time. Now I have my website on Shopify, and one of the reasons that Bill is here to joining me is mostly for him to talk about Shopify, because he actually did most of the work on that site. I consider it to be a little bit more difficult than IndieMade. It's just a lot more, I guess, detailed in setting it up. But you could also kind of do sort of like the minimum amount on Shopify and then just sort of grow into it too. There's just a lot more there that you don't necessarily have to use. But I'll talk to you a little bit about my experience with Etsy and what I like about it. Etsy has a big audience, and even though there's a lot of competition on there and you can kind of get lost on there, they do have some really good tools that and a lot of educational materials available that you can look at. And they also have advertising opportunities. Click under marketing. So you can do ads on Etsy. I'm currently not doing any, and I guess I'm kind of like missing out, but I was paying $1 or $2 a day to advertise my listings. And I sort of experiment with that. To be honest, I feel like I might have to spend a little bit more to get those to really perform for me. But you know, there are other marketing tools on Etsy. And with Etsy, there are also 2 websites that I would recommend. They're sort of like subscription websites that will help you be more visible on Etsy, sort of help your SEO,
Which stands for what?
search engine optimization. And so the first one I would recommend is Marmalade. LE. Yeah. Marmalade is a service that will connect to your Etsy store, and it allows you to see where your listings might be lacking, you know, and they'll help you improve your listings so that you can be more visible and come up more in searches. And then there's another one called eRank.
And these are both Etsy specific, correct?
Yes. So these are both Etsy specific, and I used both of these at different times just to help me with my listings. I noticed, like when I started on Etsy, I felt like my listings weren't detailed enough. For instance, Etsy has templates that you use to fill in when you're making your listing. And they allow you to have 10 photographs. And I recommend that you have 10 photographs of each item. Take photos of your item at every single angle you can think of so that it's just as though it's in front of your customer. And so for instance, I take photos of me holding it. Like, don't be afraid to be in the photo with your piece, because, you know, we know that our customers, you know, often like our work because they like us. I mean, it's very personal to them. So it looks like I'm actually missing a picture on that. Like normally I make sure to have all 10 filled. But you also want them to be able to see the scale. So, you know, holding it yourself in your hand or having it up against a ruler or a coin or something like that is a really good idea too. And so be sure to fill in all your photo sets. Sometimes if I don't have enough photos of my pieces, like this is kind of an older listing, sometimes I throw in some of my studio. This is an older listing. I've been better about having actual, I mean, there's plenty of different ways you can take a photo of your piece in order to fill up 10 slots. So that helps not only your customer, but it also helps it also helps your ranking on Etsy. They like to see you have really good listings like that. And when you go to make a listing, Bill's showing right now how you have to put in a title. And I'm personally not very good at titles, but what you want to have in your title is hopefully what would be some good search words. So what?
So Lisa Ferris is asking if it makes sense to be on both Etsy and IndieMade.
Yes, and the reason it does is because you know, Etsy is going to hopefully, Etsy has an audience, so hopefully people who have never heard of you before or they've never seen you at art fairs, they might go to Etsy to buy something that is handmade, something that you sell. So it's good for that. Why not have it? It hardly costs anything to be on Etsy, so why not? And then IndieMade is where you can send your own customers, and you're not paying a commission like you would to Etsy for your own traffic. So I mean, I still have my own website and Etsy after all this time. I mean, why not?
What are the payment options for both, for clients?
Oh, Etsy has, they process their own, everything goes through Etsy payments. So all different payment types are available, but your payments, they used to go through directly to you, but now they go through Etsy. But Etsy does disperse the money back to you. You can get it the next day. So it's pretty good. At first I didn't like it, but I think it's okay now. And the other thing that they do is that they collect sales tax for all the states that are requiring it. So as a large entity, since the payments are going directly to Etsy, they're required to collect sales tax from the customer for your sales. So they take care of that. They collect it and they pay it. So you don't even have to worry about it. You know, for your own website, I mean, since we're all so small, I think we only really have to collect for the state that we're in. But anyway, that's kind of one benefit of being on Etsy. And another thing about Etsy and IndieMade is that my habit for listing everything, because Etsy and IndieMade you can link them together. My habit would always be to put my new listings onto Etsy first, and then I download those listings into a document that I can then upload directly into IndieMade. And it was like a snap. Like you can totally manage both websites at the same time, and it's really not any extra work really either. I would have exactly the same things on both sites. You don't have to. You can have different things on your Etsy that you do on your own website. It's totally up to you. But now I noticed that IndieMade actually has a feature. I was just looking at it last night. IndieMade now has a feature that you can enter it into IndieMade first and then sync it to Etsy. I really don't know how that works, but I imagine it's just as easy. Renetta's asking if there are any hidden charges when you collect payments through Etsy. Well, not that I've noticed, but your Etsy bill is sort of hard to keep track of, meaning that I wouldn't call them hidden fees, but there could be some things that you're not sure that you did. Like, let's say you are doing some advertising, like some Etsy ads. You are the one who turns it on, so they're not going to sneak anything by you, but I think that they can be sometimes kind of hard to understand. So I use the Etsy ads sometimes, but if you're going to use them, just kind of keep track how much you're spending, because and you can set a daily budget. But that's the only thing that I can think of as being like a hidden fee. But their listing fees are 20 cents per listing. They take 5% commission for everything that you sell, and then their payment processing fee is approximately 3%. And they, I don't know for sure on the 3%, but it's something like that. And then you can also purchase shipping labels from them at a discount too. So the shipping labels will show up on your bill as well. But other than that, I can't think of anything that would be like a hidden cost. Okay, so any other questions? I'm just curious how many people here already have Etsy. Can you just type in I do?
Actually, we've got quite a few questions coming in, and I
Oh,
try
okay.
to get them to, give them to you one at a time. But Scott Jones is asking, can you update and build your site on IndieMade from an iPad?
Should be able to.
Yeah, I think so.
As long as you're able to manage your images on your iPad properly, I see no reason.
I have never tried to do that. I actually, since I was always putting them on Etsy first, and unless there's another question, I did kind of want to talk about how I would do my listings for Etsy on my phone.
We've got, they're coming in quick.
Oh, how do you avoid selling the same item twice between Etsy and Indie?
Yeah.
Yes, there's one.
If they're one-of-a-kind pieces, you might want to think twice about doing it. A lot of my work is, even though I hand make it all one at a time, they are things that I'm willing to make again if that happens. This year, I've been so good about every single listing that I have on my website and on Etsy are ready to ship right now. So if if it sells on Etsy, I make it unavailable on my website if it's something that I would feel pressed to make again. What?
I have a question.
What?
Have you ever experienced a situation where you sold an item at a show and it also sold online, or you forgot to take it offline?
Yeah, I mean, if I will usually remember just to go ahead and take it off the other site. If it sells on one, I've been just taking it off the other one. I mean, I feel like it wouldn't happen at the same time. I don't think.
Odds are low. Yes.
I mean, I've had really good traffic on my own website since I moved it to Shopify, and I've been emailing my customers. Sometimes when I do an email blast, I'll have somebody buy something, and then like a second later, somebody else says, like, when are you going to have another one of these things? But I mean, this is new to me, because I mean, usually you have time to just take it down.
So Stephen would like to know, if you use your own domain name on Indie, does that mean your original website is now closed? And the answer to that would be yes. Now, if you have a website you like maintaining, I would say maintain it, use the domain given to you by IndieMade and link to that new domain for sales. Otherwise, you're going to have to, close, because a domain can only point to one IP address at a time. So it's just a choice to make. Maybe maybe purchase a subdomain. So it's like really cool StevensSolomonStuff.com. Whatever. I don't know. Next question. Are you hosted directly on Shopify? Or did you build a site in WordPress with the Shopify plugin? Directly on Shopify. As a developer, I avoid WordPress, I avoid Drupal, I avoid Magento. But if you're using WordPress and there is a plugin, I imagine I would investigate to see how good it works. Anyways.
Well, let's see here. Stan Baker says, do you think you have, should you have your name in one of your tags on Etsy?
That is a good idea, because if somebody searches for your name, I think it is a good idea to have it as one of your tags. I used to have it in my title as well. I have changed a little bit how I do my SEO on Etsy. Like, I wouldn't necessarily follow my example right now. I'm mostly focused on my own website rather than my Etsy site. But as far as Etsy goes, I make sure to meticulously fill in every single thing, every single tag, everything.
Yeah.
So I've got KP Glass Jewelry as one of my tags. Sometimes I put my name, Kristen Perkins.
So what are the costs for hosting on Shopify?
The cost, the entry level cost, which is the one that I have, is $29.99 or $30. I can't remember. It's just right around $30 per month, and it goes up like it. Why don't you go to Shopify to the pricing page? We just have the basic right now, and it is definitely plenty.
Pricing.
Or yeah, there we go. So it's $29 per month for the basic Shopify, and you can see, like, scroll down about how much stuff you get with it.
Yeah, what's missing are the professional reports, advanced report building, and third-party calculated shipping rates. And since we're doing no fee for shipping, shipping included, that doesn't serve a purpose for us. So.
Well, we purchase shipping through Shopify.
I know, but
yeah.
the thing is,
the
statement here is third-party calculator for shipping.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, got it.
internet.
So, and speaking of shipping, the new trend online has been to include shipping in your price. And, you know, I personally don't like to call it free shipping, but Etsy kind of started last year with telling all their sellers that they will not be, I guess, promoting as well people who charge extra for shipping. So, and it's something like if you have an item priced $35 or higher, they don't really want you charging shipping. So just add it to your price. And it costs me about $3 to ship every single thing. So I just add it to my price. And I think it really does make customers hesitate less when they know, like, this is the price. And if you look at all the websites now are just offering free shipping. And so I kind of like, you know, was mad about it at first, but I do it now and it's fine. But, you know, I suppose if you have big things that you're selling, you know, it might not be as easy for you, but I would try to figure something out where you can build shipping into the price.
So Steve wants to know if we could use, or if you could use Dreamweaver, which is it's an application for building websites, to build a site for Indie or Shopify. And honestly, Steve, have no idea. Because they're both template engines, you know, they both have template engines. I know for a fact personally that you can actually throw some CSS in there if you need to, or make some modifications so you can actually see what you want to see. I had to do it for a couple items for her, a couple of pages, because she wanted to look a certain way. But once we get to the Shopify and I walk through how the templates are built and whatnot, I know for a fact you can build your own template engine and drop it in the engine and use that template. Now, don't ask me how to do that. That's not my cup of tea. I'm more back end. I'm not a front end developer.
I think these sites, the good thing about IndieMade and Shopify and Etsy is that you can really edit or update them on the fly. And so I personally don't want anything complicated. I think especially IndieMade is geared toward artists, not tech people. So, you know, they just make it extremely easy for you. And I have gotten to the point where I do almost everything on my phone. So I take all my photos on my phone. I do all my Etsy listings from my phone. I edit my photos on my phone. It's just, you know, just so easy. So like you can do it at a show. If you sell something, then you can just, sometimes certain platforms you can sync to your inventory. So if it sells online, it takes it out of your inventory. I mean,
So Chris.
Yeah, sorry.
Jan Bostwick is asking, if you do ads through Etsy, do they now take 15%?
Ads, yes, these would be ads that Etsy's doing off-site. And this is brand new. They just started doing it this month. And I have no idea what these ads look like, but they're ads, they mentioned doing them on Facebook and, you know, different other places online. And if somebody clicks that ad and goes to your shop and buy something, I think it's within like 30 days of that, they take 15%. So most sellers are really angry about this because, I mean, it just sounds like something you have no control over. I'm actually going to probably opt out of it. But on the other hand, you know, if it truly does result in a sale that never would have happened, why not? I guess I'm just going to have to see what happens, but you can opt out of it.
Okay, Sandra Happel is asking what is the average income from Etsy or IndieMade or personal website alone, like lowest to highest, if that's okay to ask.
Per year.
Well, it's up to you, really. These are things that you are really going to have to work at. So I imagine if you're focused on doing shows full time, that maybe you haven't had time to have a website. You haven't wanted to put the time into it. You just haven't even had time to think about it. I can understand that. This year, I decided I wanted to cut down on shows. Like, wow. I mean, I didn't plan on cutting down this much, but I wanted to cut down on shows. So I worked really, really hard on my Etsy site, tuning it up to generate more traffic. I worked really hard on, getting a new website, my Shopify. I've been working my social media. I've been working my email list, and I've had a really good year so far. I've probably
It's no different than any other business. If you have a garage sale, even you don't put signs up far away from your own home, you're going to get people either driving by who happen to stumble across your garage sale, or people within a 2-block radius because you didn't feel like going 4 blocks out.
Yeah,
it's no different. You've got to get the word out there somehow, either through advertising. Definitely take advantage of your mailing lists. Obviously don't pester them, but they didn't give you that email address because they're just, you didn't strong arm. They want you to contact them. They want you to know that they're interested.
Yeah, I mean, I was nervous about emailing my customers because I don't like getting emails from places bothering me either. But I've been emailing my customers about once a month, and I maybe have a couple that end up opting out, and it hurts my feelings a little bit. But I don't think it's because I'm emailing them too much, really.
No.
I mean, if you take classes from some of like the internet sales gurus, they're gonna tell you just to like batter your customers with email. So I guess to make a long story short, what I'm trying to say is, it's all what you put into it, and no one can say. You really just have to work at it. And once you get it all up, if you're not sure what to do, I would start with emailing your customers and let them know you have a website. I bet they're going to be like so excited. They're going to probably give you a ton of orders right away. I've seen that happen with some friends who haven't been maintaining their web presence, and suddenly, they are, and people are really excited to see them online.
Yeah. So James Park wants to know if Shopify has a staging server. So this is where you set up Shopify, but you didn't set it live yet.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, you were able to actually go in there and set it up and look at it and view it through their portal, see how the rest of the world sees it before actually making it go live. And actually during that time, I remember your domain was still pointing at IndieMade.
Yes.
So IndieMade was still live and kicking, and I was working on Shopify. And when she was happy with the work I did, or at least happy enough, we switched it over.
And you also have I believe they are still giving a 30-day free trial. So the idea was we would be done with it, and then we would start paying for it when it was done. So it's now 90 days because of what's happening. A lot of sites are offering really good deals on their services. So it's now 90 days.
Sweet. Man, we should have waited.
Ted July is asking, how do your online sales compare to your art show sales? Does one do much better than the other?
I think the art show
Yeah.
sales are generally better, but again, that's maybe not true for everybody, and I would say that this is the first year that I've really been working really hard at trying to do it right. So so far I couldn't be happier. I haven't had to go anywhere, and you know, these are months that I normally don't make any money, and I've been doing well. Like I have a bunch of custom orders that I've got to get started on this weekend. I've been shipping out at least a couple orders a week. Some weeks have been busy, kind of depending on my emailing or social media. But I mean, I think shows are, I don't know if this is really the right way to describe it, but I feel like it's more passive. Like you show up there, you've maybe emailed your customers to let them know that you're going to be there, and you're just kind of waiting. Whereas online, I feel like there's more to learn, and you're more active.
You have to be active.
Like you're always thinking, and marketing, and it's more, you're trying to stay current, it's more active.
So you have a Facebook presence, you have an Instagram presence. Anything else?
Pinterest, I understand, is a really good sales tool. I haven't really spent the time to figure out how to. I mean, I know how to use Pinterest, but I don't know how to sell, have drive traffic to my website through Pinterest. I don't really know how to do that yet.
So the question is, how painful was it to load all your products initially? But you did it over time. I did do it over time. Like I would just set a goal. I would set a goal, just do, maybe 5 things a day to start. And, then if you have a goal that you want to send an email to your customers and say, hey, I'm having I'm going to have a big upload to Etsy, and, that it'll be live such and such a day. Like you could set that as a goal and do that. But I think that just maybe picking a manageable amount of work a day and just do it every day. And before you know it, you become so good at it, you'll be doing 20 a day. I mean, seriously, because you're honing your skills. It's always going to be painful. Any platform you pick, it's always going to be difficult at the beginning. But you'll get better at it. Well,
this year I decided that I was going to do my own photography for my website. Previously, my belief was to leave the photography to the real photographers, that it was just a waste of time for me to do my own. But I got an iPhone 11 Pro. The camera is amazing. I bought a light box, and I spent quite a few days in a row actually replacing all of my pictures. And I didn't do it all at once. I just kind of gradually did it. And then once I got everything caught up, then my goal, this was kind of like a task list that I gave myself to do each day on my website or Etsy, just to keep everything up to date and current. So I would do 1 new listing each day. Then I would, on Etsy, it's good to renew listings. It kind of helps bring you to the top of the pile. So I would renew 1 listing each day, 20 cents.
So to renew it costs 20 cents.
20 cents.
Okay.
Then I would edit a listing. So I would go find a listing and see, like, what can I do to tune this up to make it better. And then I would go into my shop, like my about page, my policy page, one of those kinds of pages, and I would just, update it with something. And that keeps you in your shop, and it keeps everything really up to date.
Meredith Wenzel is asking, since shipping is included with Etsy, do you sell it on Shopify at the same price? Or
Yeah.
do any of your customers go to both sites?
I do make it the same price, and I'm actually going to make it the same price at shows too. It's just the price.
Yeah.
No, nobody. I don't know. I feel like it's important to keep prices all the same. So even though we know that this is covering shipping, I think I'm going to keep the prices all the same.
And we don't want to undercut galleries also.
And the other thing is, I'm having a 15% off sale on my website, but I'm not having it on Etsy. So I tell everybody it's a sale on my website. So you don't have to have them the same.
Stan has asked, he can't name his Etsy page with the spaces between the words. Do you know why or how to do that?
No, you can't. You can't do it on any website. Domains don't allow that. You can use underscores, you can use dashes. There's just a set list of special characters you can use in a domain, but a space isn't one. It just doesn't know how to interpret it.
I think Stan might be talking about his shop name.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Well, the shop name I thought was the Etsy name.
Yeah.
So yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it.
No.
You'd be able to do an underscore. That would be about it. I mean, or you can just try to use the ASCII, which is what percent
But
like that. I think it is.
yeah, I don't
See if it
know
explodes.
I don't know if Etsy will. Why not just have? Is it higher pottery?
What? His website?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask him, not me. Higher pottery? Higher fire pottery?
Hires pottery.
Hires.
Hires people?
That's an old website.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Don't put Stan's Stan might not want his website up.
All right.
Anyway, Stan, I don't know. I think not.
Oh. Hires Pottery Studio.
Yeah, because mine's KP Glass Jewelry.
So Ron wants to know, he goes, I've been Etsy for weeks, have no sales. What could be the reasons? Have you notified your, oh, I'm sorry, go for it.
I'm sorry.
She's hit me.
No, I didn't. I hit the table. Well, unfortunately, Etsy is huge, and so you're just not getting any visibility right now. So what I would do is start promoting your listings on social media like Instagram. So what I do is I upload a photo to Instagram and I say just list it on Etsy, and then have your Etsy store link in your biography on Instagram. Then I upload it to my Facebook business page too, with a link, because Facebook will let you put a link to that item. And also email your email list. Etsy doesn't bring me all that much of their own traffic. You really have to generate your own traffic.
Now, depending if you've been doing shows for a while, if you have a certain budget you're used to spending for travel and hotels, you might consider going outside the realm and finding a third-party company like HLM or some marketing place, something that actually is designed to drive views to your websites. Now, the cost of those types of services are like $500 plus a month, so I have no idea what your billables are like. So, Stan just said, not the website, Etsy page.
Yeah, sorry, Stan. But we I think we understand that it's hires pottery is all one word, and that's just the way it is.
And then I mentioned to him, I also texted that you could, in your shop banner, then just separate the words out so that it would, say Hires Pottery Studio in.
Yeah, and that is one kind of drawback to Etsy too. Sometimes is that you don't know the exact shop name. It could be hard to find it. So, and then so Stan's question before of should I have my name and my tags? Yes, because then I think it would be easier to find you in Etsy search than if you happen to not know your exact shop name and you're searching for Hire Pottery, you would never find it. But you can also put your shop name on your business cards, and then kind of set as a goal that if you want to be able to have your customers find you online, you probably want your own website, because then you're not paying a commission to Etsy. But if you don't have anything else, I think starting in Etsy right now will really bring you sales. I think you've had really good luck on it so far, Stan.
I'm sure he's nodding. Anyway, says not the website, Etsy page, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Very cool. Are there any other questions? We're kind of creeping up on 8 o'clock. Let me talk about Shopify for a few minutes. So, I said it's been good the first week. Let me ask Kristen some questions. So we've already covered what the cost is per month for you, which is about $30 a month.
Yes.
Are there any fees for transactions?
No.
Do they have a standard flat fee for doing credit card processing?
They do, and I think it's like 2.75% or something.
That is
like
not bad.
that.
Okay.
And it's the same for point of sale too. So Shopify comes with a point of sale, like a Square.
Swiper and chip reader.
A swiper and chip reader that we purchased it, but we haven't used it yet.
No. But the intention was to start using the iPad at the shows so that she could do transactions, do a sale using her actual store as a point of sale. So it decrements inventory from the online website, and everything is kosher. The whole question of like, is it sold? Can we actually sell it twice?
Yeah.
Goes away. And it also keeps all of our billing in one area. So you can easily at the end of the year start generating reports out of Shopify to do your taxes, to do your payroll when you start paying me. The setup, let me just jump into the online store itself really quick. Give you guys an idea of what the setup is like. So when she initially set it up, she had to pick a theme, and there are, I think you start with the debut, the debut, which is just the default theme. And I switched over to the simple theme because I didn't like this one, and mostly because the layout was just bizarre for me. I didn't like that it was a banner across the top.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah, everything was sort of buried down below. You had to really scroll for an hour just to get to anything useful. So I ended up picking simple, which is this one actually. Whoops. Let me go back to here. There we go. Oh man, did I accidentally change it?
Did you change my store?
I changed your store. No, I didn't.
Good.
Bloody hell. If anyone can actually go to kristenfergus.com to confirm that I didn't just. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
All righty. So, we'll go back in here. Where was I? There we go. So the theme actually allows you to seriously customize it. And initially it's a pain in the butt trying to figure out the layout because it specifies sections, what the header is, what the main body is, and you can add extra pages. I ended up adding several pages, one for her videos, one, yes, that's her, one for her show schedule,
That are all canceled.
and and her about me. Are they all? So, as Kristen mentioned, there's this discount. So creating a discount is relatively easy, whether it's a singular one or a site-wide. And actually, we launched on a site-wide discount. She emailed everybody, let her know what's going on, come on down to the shop, check stuff out, and that was terrifyingly
Busy. It was really
successful.
good. It was really good.
I did go into the shopping cart to demonstrate the use of a code. But I also wanted to show the fact that they can use
Google Pay.
Google Pay, Shop Pay. Actually, if I was using my iPad, the Apple Pay would show up also. But I don't have that. And it does a fairly good job of keeping track of carts that are abandoned, which is always a...
Yeah, I've got some people that started to buy something and then they, we don't want to show them my customer stuff. No.
This is the homepage, and the homepage actually has some useful information for you. It gives you an idea of a lot, like where the traffic is going, like in how many views specific items have. So you could theoretically, if you want to pinpoint, target, advertising for those. 92% of all of your activities have been coming from Facebook, so you're doing really well in that area.
People are signing up for my mailing list.
Nice. And a lot of helpful suggestions on how to expand, including apps. This is one of the things I love about Shopify. If there's something you need done, there's probably an app written by somebody out there. A lot of times they're free. Sometimes they're like a couple dollars a month. They're just, regular Joes like me who just like figured out how to make something work and put it out there. So for importing inventory, there is an app for it. I know that for a fact. I was unwilling to pay for it. I just told her to enter it by hand.
And you can see down here, see easy import.
Yeah.
That you can also get your Etsy listings up on your Shopify as well.
Yeah. Basic marketing information, recommendations, marketing apps, and sometimes some tutorials on how to do better, if that's actually a word. I'm not going to go into analytics because that's private, but you can also see she has her Instagram, her Etsy shop, her Facebook, and her point of sale, which is at shows, which we haven't got to use yet.
We for an experiment, we put all my listings on eBay, and then it ended up costing quite a bit
Yeah.
more than we were willing to risk for having my things just sit on eBay. So we took them all down.
Well, we stopped adding them.
Oh, they're still there.
They're not being synced anymore. Because
Okay.
you're even charged for every time it's synced.
Yeah, so
So I was like, no.
it was expensive.
Yeah. It's not a platform for us. What else?
While you're thinking, I just want to say that the reason that I decided to move my website from IndieMade to Shopify is that I do a lot of research to try to figure these things out. I do a lot of, I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials about selling online. I follow a lot of marketing people, and I was noticing that Shopify has so many educational resources, a lot of people doing blogs and so many YouTube videos on how to improve things. So I just thought it was time to move.
So Steve wants to know, does the Shopify point of sale only work with current listed items? If you're asking, can you sell stuff that doesn't exist? No.
Well, you can like, let's say you have something on your table at an art fair, but it's not on your website, you can still enter it in and swipe it.
Oh,
I bet. I mean, I
Well,
assume.
Well, even if you can, you have access to the point of sale, which gives you access to the inventory count, which means you can probably just bump it in you.
Oh, we haven't used it yet, I guess is the short answer.
Yeah.
But I know that you can put your inventory in Square and, you know.
So when sales go through Shopify, where do they go?
They go to Shopify, and then Shopify deposits them into your bank. Yes. So, you know, it actually takes a little bit longer than, it takes a couple days. It's not immediate like Square is.
No.
So.
But then again, you've never had that many sales through Square. So.
But.
I don't know.
No, yes, I have. Anyway, it doesn't bother me very much. It takes a couple days to get the money.
Renata has asked, is it challenging having two websites?
Well, I'm used to it, and the way that I had been doing it all this time is that if I upload something, if I list something on Etsy, I immediately upload it to my website, and there I would be happy to help you with this when you get there. Just you guys can just email me or ask me how to do it. But Etsy especially has you go into your options and you end up picking an option of downloading your sales to a CSV, and then that just goes right to your downloads on your computer. You open up IndieMade, you click upload CSV, pick the file, and there they are. I mean, it just couldn't be easier. So I don't think it's that hard to have two websites. If they were sites that I had to individually constantly update, you know, one and the other, yes, but they make them so that they work together pretty well.
So yeah, and it looks like, from what I can tell, Shopify doesn't penalize you for having outside sales channels that funnel sales to them. They're more than happy just to take it from anywhere. So if something comes in through eBay, Etsy, Amazon, they'll handle the transaction without dinging you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? Oh, hold on. I see one's popped up. Nancy has asked, we are starting to send a percentage of every sale to charity. Is there a way to add something at checkout to let customers know how much of their order is being sent to charity?
Absolutely. We actually had it for a while. Shop for Good. And basically, you can specify which charities and either a flat amount or what'd you say?
Well, I mean, it was a general question. I don't know if IndieMade or if Etsy does that or not. I don't know, but Shopify does, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure for Etsy or on that, you could probably in your description just state that, you know, a percentage of the sale is going towards, and that would be a way to do it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, or in your email to your customers, or in your shop announcement.
But I think what she's asking is the same question I have when I buy something. It's like, hey, 20% of your stuff is going to Bob's, you know, Beef Shack, and when they're telling you it's actually going to some other charity. If it's going to St. Jude, I want to know it's going to St. Jude.
Or people might just say that they're going to do that.
Well, that's why at the checkout you really can't take that.
No, but this is really cool in Shopify. We looked into it. It looks pretty good.
You're welcome, Jane.
Do we have any other questions? Oh, as soon as I say that, one pops up. I've seen things, Scott is asking, I've seen things on Instagram that you can just click and buy right on the photo. Have you done that?
You have to be approved by Instagram to do it. And I have started to set it up along with chatting with other friends who, for whatever reason, they were denied or they weren't approved to be able to do that just yet. So I know people do that, and I think it probably really does help. I just haven't been able to do it yet.
Weird. Okay.
That's on my to-do list.
Now I know.
All right. What else? Any other questions? Okay. Anything else, guys, that you think needs to be shared tonight, or anything else we should go over?
Just don't give up. You know, it's going to be difficult at first, like everything else in the world. Just don't freak out if things don't go as fast as you hoped. Maybe do one last quick pros and cons of each format.
Oh, pros and cons. Well, Etsy is a pro because it's super easy. A lot of people know about it, and it's very low cost to set up. The cons, of course, would be the fees and the commissions, and the fact that it's a marketplace. It's not really your own website, even though you have your own store there. So that would be a con. IndieMade, I think, is a wonderful site. I had a good experience with it. I don't really think that there are any cons with regard to IndieMade. I just thought that Shopify was more powerful, and I do actually feel like my sales have been better since I've been on Shopify. And with Shopify, I actually started setting up my store, and then I got really busy with some other things. So Bill kind of like took it over for me. So he knows more about it. I'm pretty confident I could have set it up myself. It was just easier for him because he's smarter at that.
I just knuckled down and instead of swearing, I just banged my head against the wall. No, so setup was relatively easy. Learning some of the ins and outs of it was difficult for me, probably because I never did Etsy and I never did IndieMade. So had I done those, it probably would have been about the same. What I was surprised about was at my previous job before my current one, they were adding to my list of qualifications ability to configure and set up Shopify. And I asked them why. Because this is what Shopify does. And this is one of the reasons why they are very good at SEO and getting your websites in Google, in Bing, out there. Because that's all they do. They put all the money towards development of the API and their search algorithms. So when I found out that, I can't remember what hospital was using one of their store. These are big places using Shopify for transactions. I was like, okay, I guess it's not just hokey, because I was thinking it was just for like small mom and pops, and it's not.
No.
So
I was just hearing about it constantly, and all of these podcasts about it, and so I had to try it, and I'm really happy I did. I feel like my customers, because on IndieMade I think I was only set up for PayPal, although there might be more payment options on there now. But I think my customers really had a better experience on Shopify with, processing their payments and checking out, and It could be all the hard work I did all year of getting my photos better and getting everything up online this year too. But anyway, I can't think of anything else.
One last quick question from Stan is he says, do you really think it's better to raise your price and have free shipping?
I just raised my price enough to cover the shipping. So, you know, say a piece was $135. I knew my shipping was going to cost $3 or a few cents under. So I just had my price be $138. Is that, yes, I know. Pottery is, I don't know that you can easily do free shipping, but if you, maybe you can calculate your price for every piece, or just, you don't have to do it. Not for pottery. Yeah, I mean, I only do jewelry. I know that a lot of other artwork would be difficult just to make that adjustment across the board. But you know, maybe think about it. And if there is a way down the road that you can, you know, do it.
Pottery and people pay the shipping and don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ted July is asking if your art is images like photography or painting, is there a way to set up these sites to stop people from dragging and dropping images onto a computer desktop? Something like SmugMug does.
I don't know. I believe there is, because there are people that sell printables on Etsy and online, or you know, so they're selling a printable, and you know that
A lot of them that I see have like a mark, a
yeah.
trademark or something like that put on the image itself. And obviously when you get the print or whatever, that's not on there. But what you see on the screen has got it so that it ruins or
Yeah.
Also, this is the biggest it gets. It's not going to be high resolution. So I don't know. Let me check something really quick. For our customer here, let's do a search. Image protection. Fraud prevention platform, metrics, product image, and zoom. Gallery images. Effect. Disable right clicks. Text images stored. Photo gallery. Yeah, so I guess there are apps available.
And I guess what I would do if I were in your shoes is I would probably search for it on YouTube, and I bet there's somebody. I have learned so much from YouTube this year. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of free information out there.
Okay. I think that's it. Does anybody have everything else? Anything else? All right. Well, let me start my video again so you can see me. Let's see if this works. I'm new at this. Woohoo! I'm here. Okay. So thank you to Kristen and Bill. That was wonderful. And thank you for everyone for joining us. We are going to be working on offering some more webinars to help out. Our next one is going to be May 13th at 2 p.m. James Parker will be joining us, and he'll be offering information on websites and e-commerce with the focus on WordPress. We'll be sending out some more reminders on registering for those soon as well. So keep an eye on your email. So we'll be sending that out. We're working on some other fun stuff. We also have some other opportunities. We are kickstarting our virtual art series next week with virtual coffee hours and happy hours with artists. These weekly virtual events will give artists a platform to share their story, sell their work, give a studio tour, demo their work, all while connecting with their art lovers virtually. And hopefully by now you've seen a call for our happy little videos, a Bob Ross inspired art competition. We are inviting our artist members to participate by submitting an engaging and entertaining video of you creating your art in your home or studio. Video should be inspired by Bob Ross in some way, whether it be his signature look, his hosting style, or his subject matter. All mediums are accepted. There will be a cash prize awarded to the top 3 videos. First place is $250, second is $150, and third place is $100. The application deadline for this is May 15th. And we've also launched our new online gallery last week. And we're currently accepting new work from our artist members. We'll also be sending another email on this soon, but you can apply online at www.gutmangallery.com, and you'll find an application link under Opportunities for Artists. And also, please help us spread the word about Giving Tuesday Now, or hashtag Giving Tuesday Now. We are asking the public to support the Guild by donating on May 5th, which is Giving Tuesday Now. Help us spread this word by sharing our call to action on our social media. You can also find more information on these opportunities by visiting our website and social media. Keep a lookout on your inbox for more information. Thank you so much for joining us. I greatly appreciate it. And if you have any questions or whatever, you can also email me. My email is nicole@theguild.org. Thank you.
Thanks.